Sean. We're here for T&T Hot Takes, and we're going to chat about campaigns. So brand awareness, brand marketing, memorable campaigns, memorable brands, things that people like about different styles of content, different formats. So we're going to start by chatting about memorable advertising campaigns. So tell me about a campaign that you remember, but you have no idea what the brand is. So Alicia, maybe start with you.
Sean, can we go this way? I need to give it a little more thought.
All right, Nadine, you're next.
I think.
Do you want me to start with one?
yeah,
Okay,
Sean.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll talk about one that I was thinking about today, which was the What's Up campaign, right? And I was
Budweiser,
thinking
right?
about it. Catherine knows it's Budweiser. I only know it's Budweiser because I had to Google it. I had totally forgotten what the brand was, so I just remembered the What's Up and the ridiculousness of it, but didn't actually remember the brand. So do you have one, Catherine?
I'm going to throw this out there because when I read this question, I actually thought to the COVID days. And do you remember that sort of sea of sameness where all the commercials suddenly felt the same? Like everyone was like your trusted ally and they were there to help you and like, we're going to do this together. We're in this together. Every single commercial was like that. I could not tell you what the brands were. Like it became this like race to the bottom in a way because there was no uniqueness or distinctness. Everyone didn't know what to do essentially.
Yeah, they were scared, I think.
They were
too.
scared. Yeah.
The Bell campaign.
The Bell campaign. Which Bell campaign?
The one with the little blue, like, bit that was in the billboards. There's like a little blue, like, square. Does nobody remember this? They put them in billboards all around the city, or around the country.
Bell, let's talk.
And it
What's
had
that?
like, no, and it had like people, like we're writing actual news articles about like, what is this like white billboard with a bit of blue in the corner?
I kind of remember this.
And then Bell was like, anyways, it's still in the corner of like all these ads.
That's Jordan, but you started by saying Bell, and I'm trying. So I guess Jordan, did you not know it was Bell at the time? I
No,
hope?
nobody knew.
Oh, okay.
There was like news stories written like, what is this?
So that might have been
white billboard?
purposeful, potentially.
Well,
Yeah, nobody knew.
there's a certain jingle that comes to mind. It does sort of tell you, okay, the Pepto-Bismol jingle is iconic. I can sing it in my sleep. I'm not going to sing it right now.
Oh, you have to now.
At least a little bit of it. Come on.
Okay, wait. I just need to like clear my throat a bit. But it is, I guess you know it's Pepto, but it's one of those that I feel like it's become so synonymous with just like feeling like better. Like when I'm sick, I think of Pepto-Bismol, even though I never actually use it. But the jingle has stayed with me for like years.
Have you got one?
I don't have one, but I do think that like a key part of this is that they have a slogan. Like the only reason why you remember the Budweiser one is because the What's Up was a slogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of those campaigns that are like ambiguous and then have the brand in the end don't have a memorable slogan that you can be like, oh, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's like the Geico one.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a random footage of celebrities or I don't know soccer fields and
Or
it's like Heineken.
Gecko, yeah.
Or
Nespresso's really good at that. I mean, they kind of George Clooney as the face of it, I feel, but
It doesn't hurt.
Well,
It doesn't hurt.
they have
Exactly.
they have new
It doesn't
faces
hurt.
now, like some new actors and actresses that are coming up. They're like expanding their Nespresso.
Elton John was like the face of Uber Eats for a while,
Oh, that's right.
right?
He was doing it with
And
some
that
other
was a good
older
one.
rocker,
I didn't
too,
know it was
I think.
Uber Eats till the very end.
Oh, John Hamm. With,
John Hamm was Nespresso too, right?
No, with the delivery, I think DoorDash.
Oh, DoorDash.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah.
one else. I'm not sure what this is.
See, again, you're not even sure if it was DoorDash. So
Yeah.
I
They
think
might
that's
have
the
been
key,
skip the
right?
dishes.
Yeah.
It's like
Skip the
sometimes
dishes, you're right,
campaigns are
yeah.
really effective, but you don't actually remember the brand, you just remember the campaign. But let's then move on to the ones where you remember the actual brand, because the brand is so tied into the commercial, which are the ones that I think are the most effective. Where not only do you remember the actual campaign itself, but the brand is like so tied to it, you'll never forget it. And actually the gecko is a good one.
That's
Like
a-
whenever I
that's-
see the gecko, I know that is Geico, right? It's like gecko, you see those, the brand is like tied to it so uniquely, but you also remember that the actual like mascot itself is something you've seen before.
It's funny, I don't watch commercials anymore because I, cut the cord years ago, but I occasionally see them on, like, say you're watching Prime, you watch, like, you get those little ads, and Volkswagen has done some pretty cool stuff lately. They've really tapped into the sort of nostalgia. I don't know if anyone's seen the commercial where the son dresses up like his dad, and he has, like, the mullet and the short shorts and, like, the spray tan, and he's recreating a photo of his dad when he was younger, and it, like, they kind of nail it because they appeal to, say, the era before, like the generation before that had the original like Golfs, but now there's like this new era of like the parents and the families, and it's sort of counterculture-y, but like really memorable and tied in really nicely with the car. And like you watch these like commercials like 20 times during the show, but I'm like, that's when I don't mind. I actually thought they did a nice job.
Anyone else?
My memorable campaign of this year was the Barbie movie campaign.
Oh, they
which
killed
was
it.
unbelievable. There's so many different parts of it, and at the same time, you knew that they weren't advertising Mattel and their products; they were advertising the movie.
Right.
Kind of this synergy between the products and the movie together. I mean, I think they painted a house pink in Malibu or something. They had a massive Barbie in Dubai. They just stood there for months. That was crazy.
That is like a case study in effective marketing.
Yeah.
They were everywhere,
Yeah,
like
all the
everywhere.
time,
Like
yeah.
Canada Pooch, do you remember
Yeah.
that company? They
Yeah.
had a Barbie. Like everything was Barbie. Zara had a Barbie line. Like they were everywhere you could look. It was amazing.
Yeah. And Oppenheimer won the Oscar because of that, in my humble
That's
opinion.
right.
So, okay, so you mentioned like TV commercials, and I'm just thinking branding generally. So let's move to the digital space exclusively and talk about what gets you down the path to purchase. Like I know, Alicia, you've talked about this a little bit, where you have said, like, I spend time on Instagram, I see products I like, and then I buy them. So what is it that like grabs your attention and makes you want to buy something when you see like a direct like e-commerce request, like bottom of the funnel?
For me, it's frequency. Like it's exposure. So if I see a brand that I like, I wouldn't be buying it right away. Like I can get accustomed to it. Maybe you follow their page. You're more exposed to their ads, their closing lines, if it's closing, for example. And then like once you kind of build this repertoire with them, you're like, okay, this is it. This is the one.
Right.
I think also like the time of year, like the season's really effective for ads when you see them. Like if summer's approaching, I want to see ads for sunglasses or summer bags or sneakers and
Right.
Or Aperol Spritz.
Right.
Aperol Spritz. Yeah, it doesn't have to be clothing. It can be cocktails, cocktail mixes, whatever. Yeah,
So it's timing.
timing.
And some personalization, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
So you guys are describing like the classic marketing funnel, really,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Awareness, consideration, conversion.
which
But
is what-
I don't know. I don't buy it. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
I think it's a useful framework. But like, what about the impulse buying? How
Oh,
many
yeah.
times have you just
That's
bought stuff, not even having any idea? Like, have you ever done that before?
Not
Online, you
lately.
mean? Specifically
Online or like even walking by something in a store and just being like, yep, I'm gonna buy
if
that.
I'm physically in a store, impulse spending increases for sure because there's a lot of
So it's
other
closer to you.
factors.
Yeah, you can touch
right?
it.
Maybe you
It's
have
right
coffee
there.
in your hand, the music in the store.
And
is
you may not have
fun.
seen it online,
Soothing.
right?
Exactly.
It's like a new
it's
thing.
like a fun discovery moment, and like someone's trying it on, and then you get someone else's opinion. It's easier to buy, but if I'm online shopping, I have the power to just scroll away and not buy it.
Yeah. It's
Do
much
you
easier.
though? Because it's gonna come back to you.
Yeah.
And again.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I might put it in the cart. I put lots of stuff in the cart,
Yeah.
and then I close the tab. And then if I'm still thinking about it for a few days, I'll go back, and if it's still in the cart and it's not, the inventory is still in check, then I'll get it.
And a lot of the companies make the mistake of clearing your inventory, your carts
Yeah.
once you close the app.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad move because sometimes you get the email saying this is 15% off.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
genius.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They
That's a good
bring you
point.
back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we know there's stuff in your cart.
Yeah.
You still
Forget
want it.
something.
There-
But
I get
but
lots
now
of those
you want
emails.
it.
That doesn't count as impulse buying because
Well, 'cause you didn't actually buy it.
That's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
If
You
you close the
discipline
app, it's
yourself.
not impulse anymore.
Well, because you
You're
have the
thinking about it.
almost
right.
high of the purchase, but it's not quite there.
Yeah.
And then you give yourself like 24 hours. And if that email shows up, you're like, maybe I still want it.
Did anyone else during COVID like order something like every day? I
Yes.
remember
Oh,
parcels
yeah,
I
absolutely.
needed. I
Yes.
was like, I deserve this.